you, bar crafters. We're going into game number 4 of the grand finals between SKMC and Star Tales Bomber here at the Red Bull Battlegrounds in Austin, Texas. Can MC pull it back? The maps keep being his choice, but the games keep going Bomber's way.
Yes, they are. Let's introduce our players up here in the northeast position as the blue Protoss. He is down 2 games to 1. Give it up for SKMC.
And down in bottom left, defying the trends that many are saying plague them on ladders in tournaments wherever they go, not him. The man who is showing incredible TVP throughout this tournament, Star Tail Bomber.
Yeah, I mean, so far, Bomber is, sort of gone against the odds. A lot of people said that he was going to lose to teammate Squirtle, having lost to him before in the past. A lot of folks said even if he did make it through, he might have a tough time versus MC. But right now, he's sitting in the lead, has an opportunity to possibly go to game point with a victory here on Daybreak.
I mean, this definitely is the map that I think MC is most comfortable on in the general games I've seen him. I mean, in particular, that last stunning match he had against Stefano, just managing the various counterattack paths so well and just drilling home with one big push. And here, he has the opportunity to make a couple of big mistakes on his opponent's side and have plenty of time to rewarp him for defense.
Now, on the same token, Daybreak can be an incredibly favorable map for Terran in terms of drop play, which we haven't really seen a whole lot of out of Bomber in this series. I mean, the only times he's really utilized his medevacs, other than healing, of course, was when the boss toss was stuck inside his own base and he sent units up there that way. So, I always look for that on Daybreak. We know he's capable of those multi-pronged attacks, of really dishing out damage all over. And Daybreak does have a fairly spread out base once you get even beyond that second into the third and especially into the fourth. So, possibly that is one avenue of attack that Bomber will attempt to utilize here in an effort to make it 3-1 in his favor.
And that is just an unbelievably overwhelming position to be in. I mean, a lot of times players are mentally prepared to be in best of 3s, best of 5s. You play in so many of them in various online tournaments or even in practice matches. But I mean, a best of 7, being down with your opponent having 3 games on you, the climb can just seem insurmountable. And we even saw in Squirtle's case in the GSL finals, was able to barely get back to that game 7, but just a little too exhausted in that game 7 to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, the comebacks are absolutely 100% real. But keeping that stamina up to actually get 3 games, and I mean, you essentially have to play a perfect set of matches through every single game. Not having that ability to even make a single mistake can be an incredibly pressuring situation.
Bomber now taking his expansion, going for the very notable 1 refinery, and will just be slowly adding on his tech, first getting his stim on that tech lab, then getting the factory and eBay, and then following it up either with that expand or that 4 and 5 barracks push that we just saw brutalize MC with the 8 gateways, the 1 robo, and still couldn't keep up with the production of Bomber.
Now, I wonder if this map will actually help out in the defense of that. There aren't 2 avenues of attack that one has to defend. If you're defending your natural, of course, the ramp that leads to the third and the ramp at the front as well. So it does cause problems on both sides. Of course, the force field's on one, and that can certainly be something that you just have to work around and fight through. But if we're going to see Ultra Aggression come out here, we do have the 3 racks down. Stim's not quite yet started, but he should be getting it going here fairly soon. And the 3 racks just now continuing to pump out these Marines. Their stim has now been started, and we have also a second refinery coming up now for Bomber. Over on the other side, second refinery came up a while ago for MC, and he's just adding his 3 gates, and there's the robo to boot.
This is just the classic, I'm going to play a normal game composition. 3 gates and a robo. And very often you'll just see the Protoss player just hang out with this composition largely. I'm not entirely sure what MC hopes to accomplish with this one forward pylon. He can't exactly do any aggressive pushes as Bomber by not getting that second refinery. Sure, he also saves up some money for those eventual barracks 4 and 5, but in the now, he can just get a second bunker without too much repercussion for his build.
The factory has gone down, and we have MC rallying up here to that forward pylon. He is going to warp in a few more units. What does he actually have in store? There's 2 bunkers here with a 3rd going up right now, and plenty Marines to be able to thwart this. In fact, the Marines are coming down. He pops the Guardian Shield. I think he's going to go for it.
Oh, it looks like he's just going to try to pick off as many Marines and SCVs as he can. He's seen his opponent delays Marauder production, and this is a great push by MC. He is taking almost no damage here, getting a lot of Marines. He needs to keep those sentries alive and does a magnificent job, losing only 2. But wow, did he eliminate a lot of Marines for Bomber. 13 taken out.
I felt like he actually could have eliminated even a few more if he would have prevented that bunker from actually going up, but he still did a remarkable job with that, focus firing down what he needed to, and now it looks like he will back off. No additional warps coming. He's going to follow up with the Twilight Council, get an additional observer out so that he can have full map vision, also dropping that 3rd Nexus as a result of a successful aggressive push.
Looks like Bomber's read is that he needs to take an expansion after not, basically losing his ability to put on a ton of mid-game pressure. He will definitely move out with his medevac and put on some, but again, if you do the math, 2 workers killed, the other 11 must have been Marines. He has had his Marine count just completely shattered.
Yeah, and like you said, he did a great job, good control here. He's now has map control as well, sitting outside that tower. It's pretty unlikely that we're going to see Bomber advancing out until he is very, very comfortable to do that, and the observer in place to watch for that as well. Behind this, some additional gateways are going to go down. He's already researching Blink, throwing in the Chrono Boost on top, and 2 more gateways go down for a total of 8 here. 3rd base is about ready to warp in, and there we have it up for MC.
I really like how MC is good at these sort of adjustment on the fly style. Almost always it's more correct to do a build you're comfortable with than a build you're just sort of trying to figure out in the grand finals of a tournament with 15,000 on the line. Seems a little bit risky, Marcus.
A bit risky, yeah.
So what I love that MC does is he's still going the 3-gate robo, still wants to put on a little pressure, but he's going to make a couple more Stalkers and a couple less Zealots. And as a result, we saw him able to do a lot more damage against that Marine-heavy composition. Generally don't want to do that if your opponent's getting a lot of Marauders early on. So excellent read by MC.
MC finally found that proxy pylon over here in the north position. He's able to take that out. He also got a probe that was already up in the northwest position. And not sure if he was trying to move across the map with the stealthful eye, but he does go ahead and make himself known, as now he is heading out, going to clear out the vision here to this tower as well. And his 3rd base is going down while he establishes some map control. And there is a large pickup, Sean, as this drop is heading into the main.
MC just went the wrong way. If he can pinch this drop, does he recognize, MC, the wrong place at the wrong time? That is going to be a frustrating loss in the main. The Nexus gets target fired, and MC had the perfect defense against the mass drop. Bomber picks off the main, and is going to get the Templar Archives.
Oh, and it is canceled, and there it is. Is he going to be able to get one of those medevacs? And no! Bomber gets out completely unscathed, and we talked about the fact that we may see some drops in that game, and that was an excellent display of exactly how drops can completely turn a game to your favor. Killing that Nexus in the main, forcing all of these probes here to the natural and not taking any damage at all.
I mean, that is so frustrating if you are in MC's position. You got the Blink Stalkers, you had them in the main.
Yeah.
You saw this force moving at the north side, and you just thought, you know what? I'm 100% positive he's going to come here. And then that drop comes in the main, and you're just, I mean, you've wasted your entire Blink investment. It was designed to deal with drops. You've lost your Storm, which is going to further wound your ability to deal with those big mid-game pushes. And worst of all, your opponent saw everything that you were doing. And now we see Bomber halting no Viking production, going for the big upgrades, and getting ghosts.
You know, I want to give some props to MC because while the Nexus was going down, he preemptively built a brand new Templar Archives because he knew that that would be the next target for Bomber. So that means the Storm production or Storm research is still about halfway done. Obviously a bit more delayed than he would have liked. But, you know, a good observation by him, anticipating the worst. And, you know, he wasn't able to stop that. He canceled rebuild in the natural almost immediately. So good read there by MC. Now Bomber traversing this lower side of the map. He's got an outstanding medevac count at 8. Only one of those is the low health meta count. But look at the observers all over for MC.
Oh, and their Storm just finishes. Seconds to spare. MC has to get into position. Those Blinkstalkers abandon their post at the main. Yet again, a Storm goes down, completely missing its core targets.
Yeah, and the ghosts are out. He's just looking for one good EMP versus that big clump of units.
And there's the move forward. Oh, he gets something. But he does have a couple more Templar at the back, one with 90 energy. They need to step into the action. It looks like Bomber doing some incredible kiting action. There's the pinch. Where is the Storm on the units? Where's the Storm? Oh, he gets his own Zealots with the Storm and not Bomber's units. We see more units stepping in, and there's the Storm that he needs to really begin to crush through those forces. MC might barely be able to fend. If he can get the warp ins, and Bomber's starting to pull back. Does he have enough for a single more Storm?
Well, he really needs one to come out. These units are incredibly low. There's still a ton of energy on the medevac. Wow, MC holding it off. The medevacs leaving that army behind. A lot of damage was done to the army of MC, but he was still able to hold. Right now, the army looking to be about 78 for Bomber and 35 now for MC, but he has quite a few Templar out on the map getting ready, getting their Storms prepared for the next attack.
7 more gateways under construction for MC, and this is one of the weird facets of how Protoss work. They have expensive units that build very quickly. So you end up spending all this money on pylons, trying to get everything caught up. And then when you start to lose your army and you don't have to build those pylons anymore, you need so many gateways just to be able to burn your cash down. And really, MC is going to be forced into defense for most of the rest of the game, unless he can do some crazy Warp Prism antics.
Uh-oh, moving out. We do see a couple of scouting Marines stem forward, and MC will very wisely bring these units back, extending out just one single High Templar in case he can get a Storm or a feedback off. But also, we've got to watch out for those snipes as well. There's a Storm on the front units here for Bomber, and Bomber's positioning very thoughtful. You see the Ghost feedback and Storm there, and he's going to go in for it again.
Another snipe, very nice. Forcing these exchanges. How many Stormers does he have? He's desperate to get as many to the front line as he can. And oh, he could have gotten some nice feedbacks. Oh, and those Ghosts are in trouble. They're in trouble. Now Bomber's moving up. And we do see that the Warp Prism has reached the left side of the map, but there's too many Templar here. There are no Ghosts in that mix. There's the Storms that go in. He does manage to get one of the Templar. Can he land another Storm? Does he need to land another Storm? The unit count is very, very high for both players.
Yeah, he's just stutter stepping back, trying to get rid of these Zealots. We do see an Archon morphing in. The Stalkers are having a heyday here with the medevacs, and he will wipe out that Archon, left with quite a few units to supply 169 to 135, but more Zealots being warped in, and these medevacs are so insanely low, they're going to get picked off. 1, 2.
Can he get any more? He has to blink back. An extremely tense game 4.
Yeah, now that Warp Prism is now moving. It's going to head back in. 3 Zealots and a High Templar going in here.
Can he get the Storm? He needs to get the good Storm off. And now that the units are running, will he throw it down or will he wait? He needs to be careful. He has forced a lift, and there was a huge Storm on those units.
Wow, back and forth. There's a lot of action here on the map. Another Storm coming out.
MC with some huge Storms, forcing the third to lift, the fourth not even functioning. Bomber looking indestructible all game long, and within 30 seconds is on the back foot.
Oh yeah, and all these SCVs have to move out to this forward command center. It is morphing into an orbital right now. The third's been pretty much shut down. That warp prism still allowing him to warp in some units, but those immaculate storms coming out from MC completely eating that bio army alive. And now things have equalized. MC just a few supply behind his opponent.
Now the real danger, if you're in MC's position, is that you have committed hard to those gateways. Oh my God, are you committing to that Zealot warp-in? He does not want to allow Bomber to retake this expansion. Too many Marauders in this mix. And while Bomber is busy dealing with these forces, MC moving to the front.
Oh yeah, he might be able to take this out with ease, and he is. Oh, they run right into the Zealots. The SCV's getting torn apart. Here come the rest of the army from the
half
back.
health. Quarter health, third health, loaded medevacs, unloading, and down goes the orbital command. Down go the medevacs. The Archon count stunningly high. No matter how many EMPs Bomber tries to throw down, he is starting to get completely overrun. The warp prism not even in the battle anymore. But fourth base going down, and MC, after the blunder of all blunders, losing a free Nexus at the start of the game, he is winning very well. Yeah, 102 to 141, starting to get a very hefty lead on the supply. Another Nexus is going to go down for MC in the southeast corner. And you had mentioned, you know, very heavy gateway army. Right now he's sitting on 3-3. We don't have much of a sign of additional tech coming out here at all. He's going to continue just fire away with these gateway forces here over and over again. He did kill quite a few SCVs and all that as well. 21 in total, but still not enough to, well, actually quite a bit. 46 to 71 is the Harvester count in favor of MC. One ghost, two ghosts out right now for Bomber. And MC starting to close in. Oh, not going to let that counter swing happen. More units. Oh no, getting caught on the wrong side, but Storm's crushing everything. And in the meantime, the Stalkers over at the back base. Zealots walking into their own storm. MC doesn't care. He has too many ground units. Bomber, the master of Terran versus Protoss in a straight macro game, seems to be getting thwarted by the incredible gateway play of SKMC.
Yeah, he is going to clean this up, and he does. Well, he's going to have to deal with this at the third as well. A great commanding of units by MC, sending several units over to one side. There's the repair on the orbital, trying to attack in from the front, and MC not overcommitting to this. He knows that he's done a ton of damage, and look at this warp in up here. Oh my goodness, Zealots and High Templar aplenty. He morphs in a few more Archons as he continues the onslaught of this third.
I mean, the biggest issue for MC's macro is having enough space to warp in on this single energy field. With his incredible number of gateways back home, look at all the medevacs broke on energy, such a small number of ghosts. There's the scan, and Bomber sees what he is up against. A whopping number of gateways in the main base, 15 right now, allowing him to storm in, and more feedbacks, doing some nice lands on those. Ghost trying to step forward. Will any EMP be enough to help? Bomber's been playing brilliantly start to finish. Seems undefeatable in these long-term games, but no.
GG.
MC shuts him down in a straight-up match, tying the series up 2-2.
Absolutely phenomenal. The storms, the feedbacks. MC definitely commanded his army as any great Protoss would do, and really incredible to see him just, you know, use that unit control, use that decision making to ultimately give him an advantage in that matchup, ultimately taking victory.
I mean, it's this weird, it's almost this seesaw action where you always kind of feel, oh no, I have to make sure I have to carefully walk into these ghosts, make sure I take them out. I mean, Bomber is not turning around ever. He's rearranging what units are at the front, stepping farther forward, rearranging, stepping forward, rearranging, stepping forward.
Right.
And then MC just perfectly gets his Stalkers in there with Blink, gets the feedbacks in just the right position, and had barely enough storms. And all it took was a Warp Prism again.
Yeah, I mean, the Warp Prism certainly shutting things down, and it was kind of payback after that 4 medevac drop that did so much damage early on, you know, even taking out that Templar Archives, but guess what? It didn't matter. The Storms were still an amazing, amazing arsenal there in his army, and MC ties it up 2-2.
And that means that we are 4 games into this best-of-7 series. We're going to be stepping away to let these players have a moment to just refresh, stretch, and most importantly, use the restroom. Because they will continue to be playing these epic matches here at the Red Bull Battlegrounds in Austin, Texas. I'm Day 9.
And I'm DJ Wheat. Guess what? The grand finals of Red Bull Battlegrounds continues after this. Don't go away.